Hey everyone! It is finally time! This is the release of the point 0.4 alpha build of Apacies, a love letter series. I have quite a few updates because of extra time with coronavirus, and just because thankfully I was able to get out Rearu last month. So I had a little bit of build up during that month, carried over to this month where I had extra time. I honestly feel like it was a good amount of updates. As you can see here, you have a different starting area. Whoops. I'm just calling this starting area because it's a placeholder to go into a redesigned Aho. So, very familiar, you got the three houses, the mine, and the well. I have not been able to make the mines for various towns, but you will see that I was not slouching. If you go into this one, it just teleports you back up to the start. So, new textures. I've redone a lot of different textures because I felt that the others were just too boring. Now you've got spots of green everywhere, which is way more like Arizona. You got some Joshua trees here too. I'll have some variants, but for right now there are very, very few variants, except for like rocks, which are super easy to make. Houses are built more like Legos. I can choose a face for... Do I have to capture the cursor? Yeah. I can have a face for the house and then change up the roof. You'll see more variants along that later on. Healing well works the same way. I'm kind of thinking about keeping people on top. I don't know. Of the display box. Probably not. Probably just overlay everything. And yeah, so cliffs are more easily distinguished by just greenery along the edge. And more depth given to them through this. It looks more like a scaled mountain. Now, with this person... it must have been a dialogue I canceled out. But it looks a little flat, so I might change it down the road to be more of an angled descent instead of just... But that'll come later. I spent a good amount of time just updating dialogue. Some of them are the same. Wax cylinders, especially in Aho, since it's already a town that I had, it's going to be the same. And houses look about the same. None of them have furniture. One of the NPCs says that. I'll get on that eventually. But for right now, I just wanted to expand the area. I have different scenes now. And fights. So, a few different things about fights. One, there's a bug that I have not been able to find or fix at all. And I'll show you that in a moment. But, first off, when it comes to moves, you have lots of options now. Moves is the default menu, and then you can go into descriptions of those moves. So, there's a chance to flinch if you use Fake Out. Yeah, it's one of the few moves I pretty much straight ripped from Pokemon. But also Bluff will lower a target's defense. It's kind of like Leer. And then Universal is going to be something I'm going to have to mess with. All Apacies have access to this, and it's specific moves. Blind, Disarm, Grapple, Hinder, Low Blow, and Take a Breather. All with different effects, but moves that you can use if, for some reason, you overstock your Apacies with daily and scene moves and run out of everything except for Struggle. I still want there to be a little bit of a fight. I might tie this to loyalty. So the longer you have an Apacies, the more of these moves you can unlock. So that way it's more locked around this, the idea of you're a good trainer. You've built up these Pokemon. You made a mistake. But that's okay. That's more my thought process. But when it comes to moves, there are many classifications. Some have targets of all enemies, all allies, everybody on the field, 1 target or 2 target moves. Most moves will be 1 target or 2 target. And for that, like Fake Out and Struggle, it will redirect you to a targeting screen. You can hover over an Apacy, and then it deals damage. Oh, it took forever! There's actually 2 bugs in fighting, and you saw one right there. The next enemy doesn't stop their turn once you choose the move. So, if you click on a move, sometimes they will take their move before you select a target and deal damage. I'm gonna have to work on that. But the bug I was originally talking about is this display screen up here. This is a dialogue system that tells you what's happening other than the targeting menu down here when it shows up. Only problem is I haven't been able to make it automatically move. So you can click the arrow to cycle through everything, but it will stay on that one screen if you don't pay attention. So a lot of things there. I've been working very hard on this battle, the battling system. EOT and daily moves will also disappear if you use them. I introduced each Apacies now remembers which move they used last turn. So if that wasn't EOT or daily move, it will not use it this turn, or it will hide it this turn. Much like if you ran out of scene points or daily points, it will hide the scene and daily moves because your Apacies is too tired. Last thing about the battler, aside from new Apacies, is the levels. The levels are dependent upon your party's level now. So, Myriad is level 5. And because of that, the sum amount of enemy Apacies will have a maximum of the total amount of levels in my party. So Myriad is just level 5. If 3 enemy Apacies spawned, their sum total levels would have to be 5. I didn't want everyone to stay at level 2, so I thought this was a happy medium for right now, before I actually think about how moves work. And that's the big problem. So, healing mechanic still works the same, even though I changed scenes. And then, yeah, let's just continue down for a little bit. So this is the first route. I'm still kind of debating on what's happening, on how I'm doing routes. I don't remember if Moltance was originally in the game, but he is now. Moltance is a usable Apacies. Each of the routes that I have, there are 4 right now, have some variance on what Apacies spawned, but it is nowhere near all of them that I've created so far. I'm hoping I will do evolution next update, so that a lot of different Apacies will be exposed through evolution alone, and baby Pokemon can be spawned everywhere. Hopefully that'll work. I'm not quite sure. This is Sale, another town in Arizona, relatively close to Ajo. Got another route with hopefully different Apacies, or no encounters, that's fine too. This is Fairbank, kind of my personal favorite town in Arizona. I'm gonna say nothing else there. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Got a 3 Pokemon battle. 3 Apacies battle. That's a little weird. I think I know why. The party level is currently at level 10. No, that can't be it. Maybe it was each Apacies. Oh, that was it. That was it. Sorry, this was over a month ago. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to recheck the code. It averages the party, and then each of the enemy Apacies can go up to that average. And perhaps round up. It's been a while. I'll have to check. I'll probably put it in the description if I have time. I'm a little rushed for time today. But Scrows, I'm not sure if you were introduced either. I think Vicicle was, and Percopear we already know for sure. I might have to work on the encounter system too, just because you saw previously that we didn't have any encounters, and then we had 3 within basically 2 blocks in the last area. I don't know. They had the same chance. I might have to work with that. Well, this is Nogales. So definitely south of Ajo. Got a little bit of a cliff here, but this is the Mexico side, separated by a grass field, and the Arizona side. But it's still a very important town in the whole of Arizona, so it almost has to be included. Scare. I have a list of different things that I went over just to make sure I got everything. So yeah, again, new ground sprites. This would be a great place to show you the different roof variants, house variants. It's very, very rudimentary right now. This is supposed to mark a store. This type of roof, just as having a billboard over the top. And then the rest are basically houses. Lots of people variants. They all look fairly similar. Yeah. Didn't realize those houses didn't work. I did shut down. Had to have been Nogales. I shut down one town because the portals were just way too much. So Nogales is shut down, but Tombstone, which is the other town that we haven't gone to yet, that is about as big with the portals working. Wait, the average would be 5. I'm dumb. Never mind. I'm sorry. So we got Heap, which is the pre-evolution of Flock, which last week I released a video on. Yeah. Eventually we'll get to... You will have evolutions and Flock, or Heap will be able to go into Flock. These are 1 stages though, so I'll probably just have to keep them at later areas. But you know, that sort of stuff. Duscape, who was also featured last week. So, oh, that's broken. I need to fix that. So that's vertical 2. That'll be fixed in the game release. For sure. And then, since I'm kind of stuck here, you won't be able to see Tombstone. Check it out yourself. One last thing, I believe, other than new Apacies, which you will see gradually, and I'll make videos on, but there are a set amount that I put in here that, yeah. I didn't want to overload everything and push every Apacies I could. This is where I want to start having them in their correct areas. But the last thing is that Apacies now have natures. So this Myriad right now is Charming. Eventually you'll be able to name them and this Myriad will go. So like Charming Horsey the Myriad. That's what I'm going for with that title screen. But as opposed to Pokemon, which can be any nature, because of the stats that I have made for this game, there are 49 different natures. So I thought, okay, let's try and give each Apacies 20 out of the 49. 20 that will randomly spawn that roughly fit what I'm going for with the species. So Myriad will be healthy, athletic, charming, but I wouldn't put it out. I wouldn't give it wild or wise, just because it isn't particularly either one of those two. Myriad are always supposed to be companion Pokemon, which is why their build is Bond Bash inspired. Stuff like that. Yeah, you can still move during the menu. Kind of annoying. You can still spawn enemies while you're moving. Ooh, so Bicycle already went. Let's go back to Aho. And pause. So, I'm hoping that people like the new upgrade. This took me a while. I'm still planning on doing lots of things to help improve the game, including a quest system, which is somewhere down the line. Still didn't get to the main update I wanted to this month, because honestly the graphics were bothering me so much I spent too much time on them. Everything was so plain. You can see I reused some of the graphics for this dirt path. I thought it worked better for something that's well tread to have no greenage. And yeah, you will be seeing lots to come. I have a goal of getting to 60 drawn up and ready Apacies by basically the end of this month, or probably not the end of this month, by next update, even though you won't see them all. And that'd be 60 out of my 100 goal. Yeah, wish me luck. I hope that you like the progress of this game. If you think that I'm focusing too much on one thing or another, and would prefer me to work on something else, specifically, or just in generally, let me know. I want to hear feedback. The only comment I've gotten on YouTube or on the game is, okay, on the game it's, hey, I like what you've been doing here, from a coworker who I don't think played the game. On YouTube, it was spam. Please, 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 let me know what you think. I'm trying to put my heart and soul into this, and I'd love if even one person appreciated it the way I do. Thank you all, and have a good night.